Hey everybody, this is Keith Heller from Cops Corrections Videos. If you like my videos, please hit the red subscribe button. I haven't made anything lately because, life. I'd like to talk today though about just getting back to the basics. Now, one of the things that I really didn't like doing when I was a correctional officer, correctional supervisor, a captain, and I really don't like doing it now as a police officer, is searching people. You know, the old pat down search. We've all had them, we've all done them. Now, for whatever reason, I've been the subject of a lot of pat down searches. We've traveled out of country a few times, and I get the TSA pat search, and basically that's they just rub you up and rub you down, and you could have a shotgun down your pant leg, and sometimes they aren't going to notice it. Now, I've had some good TSA pat searches, but I've had some really lousy ones too. Conversely, when I've gone to other countries, for some reason, there must be a 6'4" fat Danish terrorist out there somewhere that I fit the profile of, because no matter what country I've gone to, whether it's been Canada, Mexico, France, I'm the guy that gets pulled out of line and goes through the complete search. Now, when that happened to me in France, we were coming back from Paris, we were sitting in the airport, and when we got in line to go through the scanners and all that stuff, I was the guy that they picked out that had to go in the back room and take off his shoes and turn his pockets inside out and turn his phone on and all that kind of good stuff. They did a pat-down search, and they did an excellent pat-down search. I mean, I one of the best pat-down searches I've had. Same thing happened in Canada. Now, Canada was my fault. When we were going back through Canadian Customs, I got pulled out of the line after they ran my carry-on bag through. And the Canadian Customs officials took me in a back room, and they had me take my shoes off. They had me take my socks off and empty my pockets. I had my belt and all that kind of stuff off. And they did a complete pat down on me and asked me several questions. Well, then it occurred to me the reason they were asking me the questions was because they'd ran a test on my carry-through bag and detected gunpowder residue. Now, I'd been to the range with that bag probably about 2 weeks earlier, and there was enough gunpowder residue on there to make them suspicious, so I understood why they did it. They did a great search. Now, working in a prison, we do searches all the time. The prison I last worked at, we did pat searches on a random basis. I'd worked at a medium security institution, and we had a policy that each officer had to do 3 pat searches a day. Now, the bad thing about making it a policy is it becomes so routine that the searches are going to be up to down the arms, up the pant legs, and that's it. Free to go. Well, I'm sorry, but that is really a poor search. When you do a pat-down search on someone, if you're doing a random pat-down search on an inmate, start at the top. Feel around their collar. Go down their arms. Go on the inside of their arms. Go around their chest. Check particularly around their waist. Go up their legs. Don't be invasive going into the groin area. Keep your thumb tucked in. But go up. Go up to the crotch on each side. Let the inmates know that when you search them, you're going to search them thoroughly. Now, if you have an inmate, or if you're a police officer on the street and you have someone you're going to take into custody or take to segregation, then you really need to do a proper, thorough search. If that person is being taken into custody, whether it's in the prison or whether it's on the street, the first thing is they should be in cuffs before you even begin that search. Once again, if you're taking a person into custody, search them after you put handcuffs on them. Once again, start at the head, work around the neck, do under the arms, do around the chest. The most important thing, particularly for a street cop, is go around the waist. Look at people where they are basically going to carry a weapon is going to be somewhere where it's easily accessible to them. Check their waist, run your thumb around the rim of their waistband. Go down the legs, go up to the crotch. Do what's necessary to ensure your safety and to ensure their safety. Don't do some half-ass cursory pat-down search and then be surprised when you get them to the jail that they find a knife in the waistband. I've seen it happen. When I was the assistant jail administrator, I can recall on more than one occasion where a pot pipe would fall out of the guy's front pocket, or a jackknife would fall out of their rear pocket. Those people were not searched properly. Actions like that put your lives as an officer in danger. You know, it's intrusive when you have to search somebody. And we like to try to make it as least intrusive as we can, but you still have to make it as thorough as you can. Your life may depend on it. When I see recent videos of different shootings, you know, there's one, a famous one in Wisconsin. You can clearly see that the individual has a knife in the front of his pants. Now, I'm not taking sides one way or another on this. I'm going to keep my opinions to myself. The individual was armed. I'm sure that in a pat-down search, that would have been found. But don't get negligent in them. If you're working in an institution that says do 3 pat-down searches a day, don't just walk up to the guy and say, okay, you got anything in your pockets? And then you rub them down a little bit and they go on their way. If that person has a nickel in their pocket, you should be able to tell it. If that person in prison has a tube of chapsticks in their pocket, you should be able to know that. This is all about your safety. You need to stay safe. Now, when we're talking about searches, of course, the most intrusive search you can do is a strip search. Now, I don't know about everybody else. I hated doing strip searches. I just found them demeaning to the individual you're doing it to, and you know, I also felt a little bit demeaned just having to do it. But there again, it's something for your own good. You know, when you do a strip search, have them look behind their ears, have them open their mouth, move their tongue around. You know, check under their arms, both sides of their hand, under their arms. When they turn around, the back of their feet. Have them bend down and, you know, give you the half-ass grin. Have them stoop down and cough. You know, have them turn around and lift their junk. You know, just do it methodically. Make sure that it's a good search. Now, that's not to say that somebody who's really keen into the criminal element isn't going to be able to hide something in their mouth. I've seen people be able to cheek razor blades in their mouth. Average people aren't going to do that. But if you have to do a strip search, do a thorough strip search. Now, I'd also like to talk about searching members of the opposite sex. No man should ever strip search a woman. No woman should ever strip search a man. Period. Should not happen. Pat searches, on the other hand, I've had to pat search women, and there are techniques to do it. You know, once again, keep your thumb tucked in, use the edge of your hand. You know, don't be grabbing things. If you go under the breasts, you know, do a sweep under the breast. If you're going up the inside of the thigh, you know, the legs, you keep your thumbs bladed, things of that nature. But if you are going to do any type of search on a female inmate, particularly if you're a male and you're doing a search on a female inmate, make sure you've got it on camera. If you have a squad car camera or if you have a body camera, make sure that search is on camera. Not only does that search potentially save you, but having it on camera potentially saves your career. You know, so doing searches is not something we like to do. We don't like to invade a person's body space. We don't like to invade a person's body, but it's an essential part of our job, whether you work in a prison or whether you work on the streets. If you're in law enforcement, probation, parole, cop, corrections, make sure that any searches you do of an individual are thorough searches, done trying to keep the dignity of the individual in mind and keeping your own dignity in mind. First and foremost, though, protecting yourself. Until next time, this is Keith Helwig from Cops Corrections Videos. Stay safe and watch your back.